The message today is you get what you pay for. Umeme, some people have been saying we're so expensive, we're all kinds of things, you're cheating us, but it has been a journey we have come on this country. I've been on this board for 15 years, over 15 years, and at the helm of the board. At the beginning, I was sitting on a board, but my management team were all Muzungus, expatriates. I am proud that we had a deliberate policy to bring Ugandans on board, and when I look at them today, I'm so proud of this team that has delivered Umeme in the last 15 years. It shows we can do it. Another big challenge I had was corruption. When I joined the board, we were number one in corruption, above the police, above everything. People forget easily. But it was Umeme, then police, then other institutions. We had a policy of zero tolerance for corruption. I made it my personal business to get involved. I invited groups of Umeme staff in chunks to meet me at Protea Hotel. I give them a lecture and talk to them. And I told them quite sternly, some of you will not be here in the next 6 months or 1 year because I'm not going to tolerate corruption. I don't care about the process and procedure and your unions. We will fire you on the spot. You go to your unions and sue us. I don't care. And that's the position I took from a private sector perspective. And all this protection they thought they had to go away. Slowly, we disappeared off the radar of corruption. You had to make Umeme a personal business. And wherever I went, I got to know the staff. I would stop when they are working and greet some of them. Eventually, they got to recognize me, most of them. Even when they are driving recklessly, I chase them, I hood them. When they realize it's me, they change their behavior. We had a culture of changing mindset. It's taken time, but we have done it because we had that period of time, 20 years. So we're handing over to you. 80% of our staff have been absorbed. So we're handing over to you a well-looked after, manicured, mindset-changed staff. I hope they deliver, and I'm sure they will. So mine was really to move a vote of thanks. I must begin by thanking His Excellency the President. Because if this man did not give me an audience, especially at the beginning, we would not have delivered where we were, where we are today. He's one man you could ring, make a call, I want to speak to His Excellency. You book the call, you wait. The next day he would call you. Now that was not very common. At many a time he'd call me, and I am in London, or I've traveled, and it is 5 a.m. because that man wakes up very early and starts calling very early in the morning. When you pick up the phone, you are in London, or 2 hours, 3 hours behind, you get up and you stand waiting, hold on for him. You hold on and hold on. They say, sorry, we'll call you back. You don't go back to bed. You have to stay waiting. That's the way we began this country. Because he was managing things directly. And if there was a problem, he'd call you. So I must give special thanks to him because it was something he paid particular attention to, electricity in this country. Thereafter, I've seen several ministers come in that Ministry of Energy, and I thank all of them that I've worked with. They have all been very supportive. With no exception, the current minister has really been a champion. Anytime you call her, you WhatsApp her, she will respond every single time. I thank you, Madam Minister, for that support. That culture you have brought all your team, they all respond, and they are so responsive, Mr. Minister. The regulator, Ira, the lady has been a champion. No nonsense, very tough, but very fair. She knows exactly what she's doing. In the past, we had a lot of run-ins in with the regulator. But now we have had a smooth working relationship. We know what she stands for, and she always stood for fairness, and that was something we understood. I must thank the board with which I've worked. I've had a resilient board. And I always told my shareholders when I'd have meetings that I have to make sure that I am surrounded by people that are smarter than me. I did not want anybody on my board who was not as smart as me. They had to be smarter than me. Then they were useful to me. Otherwise, I didn't need them. The board, I thank you in a very special way. None of them are here today, but they did an excellent job. They've been very supportive, and they've done a very good job to deliver us where we are. The management team, as I've said, they've done an excellent job, especially Celestino, the CEO, because this is one man who has stood out. Before he became the CEO, he was doing his work, but people didn't recognize him. Now he's a celebrity everywhere he goes, and I'm proud of that, because he delivers. Wherever he goes, he's recognized. Madam Minister, please, it is good to recognize the people in your team, especially when you have a champion amongst them, because the culture goes through to the rest of the staff who work with him. He's done an excellent job, and many people doubted when we removed an Irishman who was the CEO before him. Said, how do you bring in somebody we don't even know? But this man knew the nuts and bolts of this business like the back of his hand. Until today, he has all the figures. Anytime I'd call him, he was always on alert. Thank you, Celestino, for doing an excellent job. My customers, I want to thank the customers, because to me they were personal. All the customers on Umeme's grid. I tried to relate to as many as I could. They did an excellent job to tolerate us, because we had a lot of challenges. People forget and they think that we live in Japan or Korea or America, where when power goes in 1 minute, they are jumping up in excitement. What the heck, power has gone? They forget where we have come from. It's been a journey. Until our grid is built overhead, most of the grid is overhead, not underground. In those countries, when it rains or doesn't rain or snow, their grid is underground. It doesn't make a difference. But here, every time there's a storm, Umeme is going to go. People are looking at us. So whenever power would go, even at times it would go in in State House. And I have to shudder. Umeme, everyone looks at you like it's your fault, power is gone. These are the conditions in which we live. And so long as our grid is built overline, the branches, the trees, with our beautiful weather and our beautiful soils, rain will come and the trees, the vegetation will flourish. We have people who cut lines throughout the country. We are recruiting people to keep maintaining the lines so that they are free of these trees and shrubs. People take it for granted. But I'm glad we have delivered a 20-year concession. We are proud of our accomplishment. We still have a bit of work to do. Some people feel that the negotiations have got to continue. Yes, they are going to continue. I need to assure my shareholders that buyout amount is not what they expected. But that's for another day. We shall talk about another day. We shall have an AGM. We have worked in good faith with the government of Uganda, and I'm sure we're going to conclude these discussions. We have received our payment, the initial payment that was undisputed, and for that we are very grateful. For anybody who doubted us, Friday we received over $120 million in our account. I thank you, Madam Minister, for that payment. We're going to address all the challenges remaining, and we are here to support the new team led by Paul Mwesigwa, UEDCL, the new chairman. We are here, a phone call away, and we'll always be supportive. It's a contractual obligation anyway for the next 6 months. The people who wrote this concession 20 years ago, they were brilliant minds. Nobody could have envisioned what we shall be dealing with today. They tried as much as possible to capture all the eventualities. And even you today, as you take over, you cannot imagine what will happen in the next 20 years. Where would Uganda be? Maybe we shall be using EV cars at that time. I don't know. Maybe things will be completely different. But we had a very good plan. We put as much as we could in that concession. It has protected us, it has hurt us, but along the way, it has delivered us. So today, we hand over with a smile. Thank you very much, Madam Minister. It's been a pleasure really serving on this board, and I thank all of you who have been with us on this journey. God bless you all.